like, have a look at this, right? Because this is what it's going to be.
Live through this, and I may spare. Insolent!
Looks dope as hell. Cat Sims looks cool. Sid looks fantastic. Yeah, oh, got a real man look.
Live through this.
Striking on that. That's next to the line. That's the other guy.
On your feet again?
Try to make this game look bad.
Insolent! Insolent! Strategic retreat! On the play. Insolent! You on your feet again? Back up!
I think many modern Final Fantasy fans are actually Kingdom Hearts fans, and they want FN to be more like Kingdom Hearts. It's like a wolf in sheep's clothing, except it's more like Mickey Mouse dressed as Swan. Change. Does Call of Duty have to be an FPS? That's basically the main argument. They can't argue once E33 came, and basically all these arguments are supposed to work. Blizzard was like Square they would make Overwatch and they would call it Warcraft. Just like me, trying to make history. In defense of the
Live through this, and I'm... Insolent! On your feet again? Live through this. Insolent! Feet again? Live through this, and I may spare. Insolent! 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 Live through this. Insolent! Insolent!
feeling better than perfect. A great example of that is the boss music Birth of a Wish from
Live through this, and I may spare. Insolent! 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 Live through this. Unit! Insolent! 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 Unit! Insolent! On your feet again? What's behind you? Yeah! Insolent! 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 Strategic retreat!
Big question is that Street Fighter 6 has a long way to go. So like,
Live through this, and I may on your feet again. Unit! Insolent! Unit!
Hard like morning dew. Having fun yet?
Insolent! Live through this. Insolent! 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 On your feet again? Live through this, and I may spare. Insolent!
I'm out here.
On your feet again? Insolent!
I think that mostly contributes to like what they've done with the efforts of this game. They've really gotten control of a brand new audience of Street Fighter for a brand new generation. They've really done. So at the region though, I mean, I don't think they care. Like, here's the reality of the situation. Numbers are numbers. Like, the amount of people engaging and playing with it is the most important thing. What's not important is where they're coming from. Like, to be
Live through this, and I'm on your feet again? Insolent!
Strategic retreat.
Live through this, and I may. On your feet again?
But I can't blame them for like following the success that they created in some way. Doesn't mean that it's a game specifically for Japan only. I don't think only Japan is playing this show. I think this game is a game for us.
Live through this, and I may spare. Insolent! Shoot it! Insolent! Insolent! Shoot it! Insolent!
Strategic retreat.
Insolent! Insolent! Insolent!
I felt like we had run out of new ideas for the games that connect.
Live through this, and I Insolent! On your feet again?
Welcome to Sandwich Shop. Sandwich, which is creamy, or the steaming Norwegian family.
Live through this, and I may... On your feet again! Live through this. Insolent! Insolent! Shoot it! Insolent! Insolent! Shoot it! I'm out here. What? On your feet again? On your feet again?
I've heard this is quite unprecedented even at Capcom, but the number of users continues to grow.
Live through this, and I may spare you. On your feet again? On your feet again? Live through this, and I may spare you. Insolent! 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 Let go! Hard like morning dew. Having fun yet? Insolent! On your feet again?
for Street Fighter to effectively have like almost a
Live through this. Insolent! Insolent! Insolent!
Hard like morning dew.
Insolent! Impudent!
I'm out here.
On your feet again! Live through this! On your feet again! Insolent! 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 Impudent! Insolent!
Having fun yet?
Insolent!
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back at it again with another Wuthering Waves video, and as you can probably guess, stuff is hitting the
Live through
fan
this.
like
And
again, it absolutely because Luke Silver is here.
Insolent!
Strategic retreat.
On your feet again! Insolent!
It's a top-up platform that gives you some of the best prices on in-game currency, especially for Wuthering Waves. With discounts up to
Live through
50%
this.
off. Users get
And Insolent! Insolent! Insolent!
I'm out here.
Insolent! Insolent! On your feet again!
like this on one weapon in the history of the game. And that one
Live
weapon
through
in the
this.
history of the game that elegy, as you can see. That's pretty cool. That's another echo skill damage, sort of like late stage fire character.
Strategic retreat.
That does that. The other rectifier. The other rectifier have way higher crit stats.
So much now. I'm out here.
Excellent! On your feet again?
Echo set. And what the Dream of the Lost Echo set does is
Live through this, and I'm you. On your feet again?
Know that this is gonna have no interglacial
Excellent!
gonna be bumping.
Excellent!
Supporting you. And it's actually the same exact set that Yuki has, because this allows her to buff glacial damage.
Live through this, and I'm...
What this weapon effect does over here
Excellent!
target it does like it's buffing still with that.
On your feet again?
However, there's a secondary effect that 30% glitch damage. So, 4%
I'm out here.
4% C-wide attack bonus. Genya, for example, gives herself a 36%. Looks like she's also getting
Live through this. Excellent! Excellent!
So in reality, this whole like 30%
Excellent!
What?
For damage type.
Excellent! Excellent!
Let's forget damage
Strategic retreat.
On your feet again?
is always going to apply one stack glacier, regardless of the board that she's in. And so
Live through this.
That's it's going to be Just a useless stat, but a negative.
Live through this,
Negative stat.
and I'm on your feet again.
Because what does this weapon not have in exchange? It doesn't have fucking crit. It doesn't have weapon on top. That's bro. That's on it.
Insolent! Insolent! Insolent!
One day we'll fucking find out.
Insolent!
Strategic retreat!
Why do another
You
weapon
have
like the basic dynamic.
Insolent! Insolent! Insolent!
And the main stats also signature weapons to look at. And you can't count this one. This is fuck out.
Live through this, and I may spare. Insolent!
Change weapons.
I'm out of here.
You got it!
Weapons have got quite a bit. I want to really one way or another. And spring master will still be fine on your especially if you're going to be using them in teams with like a Hiyuki. If you're going to be using them in teams with like a fucking Proloba and shit like that, you'll be good. Judge's weapon. I don't think you can use it for resonance skill enough to stack this up, but like I guess it's a stat stick in her glacial chain form. It's like I think String Master is just gonna be better though. This thing's shit. This thing's shit too. It's just stats. This one is just stats. That's it. Because you're gonna have no Spectral Frazzle on the team for you to activate all these damage bonuses, so that's not real either. Then you got Whispers of Sirens. Whispers of Sirens isn't actually that bad. Actually, no, it's dog shit. Yes, if you're an Echo skill form, you'll be able to stack this up 100%, but you won't use the basic attack damage bonus because Lucilla only does basic attack damage in Glacial Chain form. So you will stack this up, but most of these effects don't do anything for you. So yeah, no, this is fake as well. It's just a stat stick. Actually, the most like cosmetic stat stick ever. And Levy and Elegy, it's kind of like the opposite effect. If you're an Echo skill form, this will actually do stuff. And like, oddly enough, maybe this could be like Lucilla's. If you run her in the DPS, this could be better than her thing potentially. Because yeah, 32% Echo skill amp is a lot. Guys, we haven't realized there might be some like giga goofy like Lucilla DPS teams where like you run her with Chuyan and then she's using this and like I don't. I'm theory crafty. Yeah, he doesn't do that. Maybe she's at 6. And then you're not using it. The main realization that most people are gonna have is either Spring Master and you just pass this along even further than you already have. Or you pull a 6. Or you get like some weird Lethian elegy shit. But that's like the opposite. Because
live through this,
in my
and
opinion,
I may on your feet again.
Weapon type that Kuro does, they want to make money on weapons. The Kuro game definitely right fire they want to make money on weapons. But let me orient you. Actually has a gun. But how broken would she have been if she could use static fist? Outro and moving. Would have been nice if she had static fist. I think keep the static fist, right? Well, the extra skill keep the static fist, right? You didn't have to worry about the injury and that shit. Weird. Nobody pulls Rebecca's signature because you got static fist. And Tony Moslade signature.
Live through this.
When they
Insolent! Impudent! Insolent!
I'm out of here.
Anyways, it still doesn't do anything. Yeah, it still does no damage. It's clear, if you're gonna be pulling Lucilla, you either really want this thing
Live
or you
through
want
this.
Oh boy, Saint. How usable is this on other characters? That's that question. Like,
Okay, I want you right here. So you know that. So you know.
Insolent! Insolent!
Back up.
Insolent! Insolent! On your feet again?
Strategic security.
of the effect after the attack. After inflicting glacial
Live through this. And I...
inflicting glacial change to activate any of this effect, any of this thing's effect, and you have to use
On
glacial
your
change
feet
to
again?
rectifier. You will probably never get another one of those in the history of the game. So,
I'm out of here.
the ability on other characters will probably act like not it's really invested level of like a signature. And if you need signature on the stats, guys, it's not really good. It'll get the job done if you just need stats, but you prefer to do what if you can't tell me what if you had the effect is
Insolent! Insolent!
like fucked up, you're gonna be able to like and that's the ability of the this is going to be a very, very, very strong weapon. But it's not going to be required to clear with any other.
On your feet again?
It's not in this way. Does your Daniel need Forge the Warp Star when she's supporting Luke or Ivan? No,
Live through this.
this shit off
And-
get like about 5 seconds lower. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 seconds lower because it's
Insolent!
wow. It's
On your feet again?
Is 8 seconds worth $200? I don't know. That's pay a lot of money for this situation over here. When it comes to Lucilla's weapon, ladies and gentlemen, and it's a very similar situation. You don't need it. We can kind of feel like you want it because there aren't a lot of weapons in the game that buff. And I told you, right? It's something that Kuro's decided to do very recently. I think it
Live
actually
through
started off
this.
with like Johnson.
And I made
the entire team. And it's kind of like God Warriors and the none of the rectifiers on the roster provide a buff except for and then
on your feet again?
Kuro does something like this very for the rectifier class. I personally are the opinion and release like a 4-star rectifier. Right? That's like and like damage bonus, attack, something like that, by like 10-15%, and it's like a rectifier or something like that. And then like you just get like a
Strategic retreat.
you just get like a
And I
something like that, right? Like a stat, like where the buff is like bad as well. Just give me some type of buffing ability. Something like with rectifiers they have static space. With know that widgets he had.
On your feet again.
And it's clear that Colonel knows that's the case, and they've already started doing it. It's gonna feel like it. However, do keep in mind that that's the
Back off.
your actual skill team. If you're still on your super team, you're doing plenty of damage. When I say John is essentially almost the same goddamn character as Lucilla Next. Yeah, that could be the situation over here. With Great Master and stuff like that. Like I said before, you either look faster or the fact that your Lucilla is going to have a pretty dog shit run. Rectifiers are not good, and like I said before, anyone that's them saying money on the left.
On your feet again.
Either gamers here, they were
Live
talking
through
about
this,
Xbox because they
and
were
I may
devastating. The plan for Team 3 was just that
on your feet again.
literally everything. Just publicly saying out there that really, the plan was that if every game kind of fails, teams have numbers go down a bit, or this or that game doesn't come back, that's fine because Call of Duty is $1 every single year. Well, what happened? Well, the last Call of Duty, Black Ops 7 was an unbelievable failure. I mean, apparently it's a lot of flop. There's one of which they're now like investor calls making excuses for why they spent $17 billion on Activision, and now for the first time Activision is just about to gut Xbox, because if you can't sell Call of Duty, everything is just getting shut down. But let's go through the link, because honestly, I have to admit, this is wild. Even as a person that didn't it's wild today when I'm here. I trust it's great. Get this now, we did do a video last night talking about
On your
that.
feet again.
Xbox around the idea of commercial break on the console. Match break. Three matches or whatever trying to gear up that next big fight RPG or something. They'll show you like a stop or a piece of it. They are literally
On your feet again.
right now. Microsoft itself, its market cap is $2.9 trillion. It sounds like for whatever reason, this thing is Xbox cannot exist. There is so much to go through, because honestly, these things are like this close that Xbox fine, but then Black Ops 7 underperformed for Xbox. Very clear in the years shutdown. Asher Sharma herself did public setting a video that marketing department, the developers, the studios themselves are going to have to do something. I do think that they're probably going to shut down Double Fine, probably going to shut down strategic retreat, right? If you don't put out a game, you'll have to do everything. Black Ops 7 did something. So crappy AI art, very bad balancing, terrible matchmaking. It was a bad game. And it's crazy to think about that.
Live
Black
through
Ops, like,
and I may spare.
everything about Call of Duty has been something that historically Call of Duty. It's crazy to think about now, but the Xbox 360 legitimately, modern culture is working out this thing over the world. And honestly, I can find that part. They find a lot of exclusive deals for that. There is better success in Call of Duty, and now after $70 million now owning Call of Duty, suddenly Microsoft has no idea how to get high out of their product. Now a lot of people are still stressing it. Xbox is installed into Windows. This is Microsoft. The president of PlayStation is literally being like, look, man, Xbox is gone. I mean, Xbox 3 up. A 3 budget dealing seems to be advised that more for Xbox consoles. Ultimately, make it like Microsoft would be out of everybody's talking about that. It does seem like they really type master charm on us. Oh, for years, no Spencer's dropping the ball, no Spencer's the lighter, no Spencer's the guy that's stuff. But Master Sharma as an AI tech pro, and yeah, he's really trying to make the drum of console wars get tweaked. I love it how that's the Xbox fans are a lot of people have been making jokes about that. A lot of Xbox fans, all the Xbox podcasts, well, given up or liquidated or walked up, they are basically having to flip on no matter antiquated concept. 6 months later, yeah, all the exclusives matter, and then suddenly they go back to third party. You know, they really just want the best deal for gaming. Like going from all that matters is Game Pass to saying actually Game Pass is bad. I buy all my games. I mean, Xbox fanboys are in a weird spot where they really do have to just constantly sprint to keep up with the constantly pivoting talking points. And a lot of you are pointing this out, right? Here's Tom Henderson. Tom Henderson obviously bears big leakers, talks a lot about PlayStation stuff and inner workings. It's been like Xbox strategy so far under Asha seems to be cheap wins and chasing their tail. I'm not sure why they feel inclined to talk so much and do these interviews, but they should probably just stay silent until they have a plan in place. If people in the industry are confused about what they're doing, I can't imagine how it feels for a cat.
And I may.
As part of the, like, a big reason that why
On your feet again?
Oh, do I want Starfield? Do I want Gears of War? Oh, do I want Uncharted? Oh, do I want Arrow? Okay, all of it, okay, that's Xbox has a couple games that run work. Now, Xbox admits they can't even make more consoles right now. You may not be able to find these pieces of crap, but let me roll go with this.
Live through this. And
it is wild. It is wild. The comment section I've been saying this, and people get happy. Every single Xbox game Xbox do not buy games. I say that all the time. People get so pissed. Well, I bought games. This thing, this guy has a different spot to right. I think 60-40 of right. Because this guy has been very much tripled down on your feet again. He's tripled down on the idea that like Game Pass is Xbox is the best thing ever until everything falls apart. So suddenly, you're oh, actually, suddenly everything's super bad. People are still kind of saying, okay, I don't believe your now. What do you think? It looks like in that I can figuring out just by watching a couple of statements how bad stuff is, and now we're checking the first we've been figuring that out. Everything about still about every except for like Forza Horizon 5.
On your feet again?
Now, the Xbox Series X. If your actual like mainstay is bombing, it's all bad, brother. All of it. And I just feel like it's crazy to me that
live
so
through
kind of
this.
pretend that, oh, it's all down. I've been calling this now for like 10 years. Never gonna win. We're never gonna break even, especially now. This accountability margin is all that. It's a cycle, I gotta be honest. The notorious 30% accountability margin are going to operate 40% accountability margin the first margin. Just put it back in the accountability margin. Profitability. Just put it nobody would ever
on your feet again?
Walmart, Amazon, you're like really going I've been told they're not just dozens of dollars on $1,100 to make now, Xbox is able to acquire hardware. Don't you ever see it? It's just been a model to subsidize other businesses. The model has begun to break down. That thing like so crazy that it blows my mind. That's usually what they're saying, is that the whole point of Game Pass is that it had to always be grown. Maybe not by leaps and bounds, but it had to always be grown.
Live through this.
So,
and I'm you.
There's no longer a new model. There's no way to sell Xboxes to people right now. Not the you're literally and a lot of leagues have
on your feet again.
Microsoft has that Xbox 4 was putting forward because Black Ops 7 sold out visually bad. The whole idea, hey, here's our great way to make games, here's our great way to pay off everything. Crap, and not just the AI. That's healing must not. Massive. This is wild. Not how to pay the bills at all. Not the future. Microsoft has never close to $80 games. I wouldn't be surprised if Microsoft gives that another go. Microsoft is also looking
live through
to make
this.
them
And I'm on your feet again.
Specific markets or even licensing it out to the brand. This
You
is
got
so stupid. It's so that's a lot of money. Why would they flirt with $2? My argument about it, but before he goes in. Across the board, I still have and some watch every sport that there is. Xbox, free to play, Jeff shows everything. And do this. I cannot tell you no week after it came out, there was no hype, no ads, no posters, outdoor events, nothing. No physical media at all really.
Live through
this.
Apply
that same
and I may
everybody market is insane. Microsoft set that target only on really tough. There's also incredibly worried that Xbox is going to act like most other big franchises and literally nothing else. This is the death of Xbox. I know people get mad that I love to make videos called like Xbox is dying, but
live through this
at all.
And I'm on your feet again.
Everything is incredibly low metrics. This is just bad. Advertise them on Xbox as Xbox. You guys are bad.
You got it!
At this point, sell your Xbox and buy anything. Get PC parts if you can afford it. Get a Nintendo Switch 2 if you can afford it. Get a PlayStation 5. I mean, I'm just straight up. I think the prices are going to keep going up, and at this point, your Xbox, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse until eventually it gets sunset. There's that old quote that says, when Rome fell, nobody knew it happened until the local bridge collapsed and nobody could
live through this.
And I feel like that keeps
and I may spare.
You know it. Like, subscribe if you haven't already.
Excellent! On your feet again!
Well, it looks like things are about to get very weird for Microsoft. I think they have the potential to, with some of the things being
live through this.
Reportedly,
And
see the division itself.
insolent!
Microsoft, there's a lot of interesting things
You
getting
time.
around right now. And what's the random on Reuters to got it free. I was familiar with that.
Insolent!
Insolent. Like, they're going to shift a lot. Like, things are going to be radically different here by
Live through this,
midway.
and I made it.
Microsoft says it's considering Xbox unit, including a physical hearing different
Insolent!
other partners.
Futile!
Cell, of course, is integrated within Windows. They're fine.
On your feet again?
Microsoft. So it's kind of protected. Microsoft is like tied to really like revenue outright. So if Microsoft, if Xbox had, according to what Ash Sharma said, a 3% accountability margin, it's like, oh, you have other divisions that have much higher, we'll say, accountability margins. Kind of even that out. So it's like everybody puts all their money into one pile, and then we split it up. And like, if one person came to the table with a ton of money, everyone kind of walks away with a decent amount, right? That's kind of always been the idea here with Xbox. But the idea of spinning it off into its own subsidiary for Microsoft, they have LinkedIn, they have GitHub, sort of like that, where it would operate kind of independently from Microsoft. They'd still code, but decisions they would make specifically or finances that would be flowing through Xbox, I mean, it would just be responsible for it kind of on its own for the most part. Microsoft, of course, would still be there, keeping an eye on things, but they wouldn't necessarily have to follow the trends of Microsoft all the time. So think about with Xbox in the past, and I'm thinking back to the Xbox One game, all right, where they introduced it as more of an entertainment device than a gaming device, despite the Xbox 360 generation being really all about, I mean, the Kinect still kind of about being other weird tech things that was just fine for gaming to be creative. But you go on the Xbox One, and especially with Phil, you start hearing at first about TV, but then, and Phil said this a lot, the power of the cloud. You know, that was a lot when it came to the cloud infrastructure. And that's because that's where Microsoft was putting their big bets at the time, and they continue along with that. But eventually we got to, recently with AI, people noticed, oh, they were going to have Copilot become integrated with Xbox. You see it on Windows gaming side. And so because of this, you have Xbox kind of following along as opposed to doing its own thing that at times makes more sense in the gaming space. So we talked about how the finance people on the Microsoft side tend to make decisions for Xbox that don't necessarily align with what gaming requires, okay? And so a way to kind of solve that, yes, would be allowing Xbox kind of go off on its own, still under the Microsoft umbrella, but not necessarily controlled or going with the flow day-to-day operations with Microsoft. Now, they do say that no restructuring is imminent. All the options do, though, remain on the table, the information has reported. And Xbox, of course, struggled in recent years as Microsoft's bet on subscriptions and cloud gaming failed to offset declining console sales and a shortage of blockbuster titles. So, Asher Sharma plans to increase spending to accelerate development of new Xbox titles from its most successful franchise, including Halo, Fallout, and The Elder Scrolls. And it seems that Satya Nadella and Amy Hood, who would be calling the shots over there, have approved Sharma's plan to boost spending on top-tier game development for the fiscal year starting in July, but the budget has not been finalized and could still change. So, with this in mind, it makes sense if they are going to move to, say, spin it off into a subsidiary, and they do have, we'll just say in this case, they have plans to sell Xbox, or even enter a joint venture with another larger company. And I know the immediate thought is Tencent. Tencent coming in and having 30% of Xbox, and Microsoft has 70%. Or they can split it up further. As long as Microsoft has the controlling share of Xbox, I mean, they can
play around with numbers as much as they want, have multiple, multiple people come in or companies come in and own parts of Xbox. That can get a little messy, though. Sometimes it's better just, okay, we'll have one other large company come in. It could be, I say Tencent, sure, but it could be AMD. I don't know if NVIDIA is interested. I mean, they have so much money they can throw it around. Apple, I don't know. Apple coming in and having a pretty significant share of the company that owns Halo. That would kind of be a full circle moment from way back in the day with what Macworld and OG Halo being shown off there. But the plan then would be, can we make Xbox more appealing to sure sell off? And I still wonder how many companies would be all about picking up Xbox. But part of that would be, okay, we're going to make it its own thing. And that would then lead to, once you expose Xbox completely away from Microsoft, I feel like you would see a lot of cost cutting then, because it's pretty obvious 3% accountability margin or profit margin. That's not going to cut it, and they'd probably have to raise that significantly by offsetting a lot of costs. And yes, that then comes down to layoffs, studio closures, canceled projects. That's the thing. It's one of the reasons this is so interesting is because it lines up with some of the other reporting that's already happened, this past week. So it seems like it's all kind of falling into place. And as they mentioned, like this stuff, it's not necessarily final. It's just options they're weighing on the table. But, from a more optimistic standpoint, I actually think it would kind of make sense for Xbox to be separated from Microsoft. As in, think about Sony, right? They have just Sony outright, the Sony company. But then they have PlayStation, Sony Interactive Entertainment. And PlayStation kind of just operates on its own away from, again, Sony is still technically the big company that PlayStation is under. We get numbers from Sony with their financial report, as we would, I assume, get Xbox numbers as well from Microsoft report if they became a subsidiary. But it would give Xbox more flexibility. Really, I think just the ability to navigate gaming specifically as a gaming company and not as like an integrated arm of Microsoft, still trying to weigh out all of Microsoft's aspirations around cloud and AI, things that don't always align perfectly with sort of the art form that is gaming and just running a gaming company. So I actually think it would make a lot of sense if they can indeed pull it off, and if they do a joint venture, finding a company that also understands the advantages and disadvantages of owning a big gaming publisher like that. So something certainly to keep an eye on here as we go along, because a 100-day reset for International Pharma, that's pretty quick. Like, things would be moving here rapidly. I guess the other nice thing is they call out Elder Scrolls Fallout, which people have been, like, begging for something Fallout-related here. Obviously Fallout 5, but Elder Scrolls, especially with Elder Scrolls 6. Those are two big properties. They feel like are, I don't want to say slam dunk, but more on the guaranteed side of being received well and generating legitimate money. And seeing a revival of, that's a revival, but like for Halo would be very important for the brand itself, and sure, the brand value if they're looking to like just outright sell Xbox division, because Master Chief is still kind of that mascot around. So interesting stuff. Certainly something to keep an eye on here as we go through this accelerated research next 100 days into 2027. Let me know what you guys think about this one, though, down below in the comments. The idea of Xbox becoming a subsidiary of Microsoft, would that make sense to them? And do you think, like, overall, the end goal is actually for Microsoft to sell Xbox as it is and just kind of walk away from this whole thing? Thanks, guys, for watching, and I'll see you next time.
in Switch marketing. What you see is exactly what you play. Clear stages, earn chests, and level up your hero in a totally free-to-play friendly world. Forget mindless stat grinding. It's all about heart-pounding battles where every choice matters. Upgrade your skills, stack powerful improvements, and hatch loyal pets to fight right by your side with unique companions. Build unpredictable combos and watch your regular attacks evolve into map-wiping special abilities.
There's been no shortage of talking points over the last 2 weeks, with all the games being revealed and showcases having 30 or 40 different titles being highlighted. But there's something interesting happening when it comes to some of these platforms. Specifically, Microsoft with their Xbox, as we just heard, there's going to be what's called a reset over the next 100 days for the brand. But it appears that even before that memo went out, Asha Sharma has been making some moves behind the scenes. Some of them, I guess, last minute, to the point where Microsoft and PlayStation, their relationship is fractured. Sony's mad at Microsoft for some of the things they've been doing, and it kind of feels like the corporate level console war is back to a degree. But we'll go over that here today. So if you guys enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. So there was a kind of very weird set of circumstances that happened here. Happened at the event, and now reports coming out since that big Xbox showcase event. Okay, so starting here, all right. Here's before E-Day. Big reveal, of course. We're very excited heading into the fall for this game to release. Now, of course, being an Xbox console, it will release on PC and on Steam, but it is not coming to the PS5. However, it's pretty obvious that it was supposed to come to the PS5, and there is just so much public evidence around this, whether it's the ratings, like there was a penny rating for a PlayStation 5 version of Gears before E-Day, even coming down to, and it's, I mean, you can write it off as incompetence or just them last minute changing this stuff up. I mean, there was an entire Xbox podcast where they threw up the PlayStation 5 logo on the Gears of War E-Day end card here for the game. And that got caught by many people, and already people put stuff online and were like, oh look, there's the PS5 logo. To the point where Microsoft took this stream down. Like they just completely cut it. And I mean, it doesn't look great, you know, when you see that. And you go, well, okay, obviously there was a PlayStation 5 version of the game, and they decided to pull that back, and instead, as Asha Sharma has said in the past, the plan's the plan until it's not, reverted back
Live through this,
in Xbox.
and I'm...
Right. And, you know, for suppressed, what is going on there?
Excellent.
And from Eurogamer, their character Chris
Insolent.
Insolent. Around this entire thing of change their plans. And they talked about it going to PS5. It was never. I would say that here is modern exciting one of the Xbox.
Insolent.
That is one great thing. Like the worst thing ever. But growing up, the first time I wanted to give advantage where that supposed to be were very and less so a factor now. Both companies Still though, when asked about the idea of a smaller audience, because Gears E-Day, it's a pretty large audience for the multiplayer and I can question around and Gears wasn't as big of a I think most of them around plenty of Gears inside, and now they've recorded that. But it doesn't seem like it blew up that much. We got what is out there.
Right now, the microphone is nearly impossible. The Xbox than it was just last year. So that's the problem. And just making someone right across the board with everyone. So that's sort of like personality around the stores, kind of they're just not really shipping out. So they're kind of tied to out there.
On your
out
feet
there.
again?
That Xbox isn't necessarily hardware. Like here's the working full backlash. Also,
Strategic retreat! Right. The strong replace the weak. Let's see what we got! Let me show you what true power! Live through this! Insolent! You got live through this, and I may. On your feet again? Live through this. Impudent! Insolent! 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 On your feet again? Live through this, and I'm on your feet again. Insolent! Futile! On your feet again? Live through this, and I may. You kind! On your feet again? Insolent! Impudent! Insolent! Strategic retreat! Insolent! Live through this. Unit! Back up! On your feet again! Strategic retreat! You got what? Insolent! Unit! Strategic retreat! Having fun yet? On your feet again? You got it! Insolent! Having fun yet? Unit! Insolent! Insolent! He's on the plane! Unit! On your feet again? Insolent! Strategic retreat! Why aren't you running? Let me show you what. Hey! One true dragon. Live through this, must protect and myself. I may spare. Insolent! Insolent! On your feet again? Insolent! Insolent! On your feet again?
Otherwise, but again, keep an eye out for today with this earnings call, sports policy, you guys can stay more. Oh, we have some big news here for Genshin Impact fans. As you know, as a
Live through this, and I may spare. Insolent! Insolent!
In fact, this is
Unit! On your feet again?
now is the time. You know what? Here.
I'm out here. You live through this, and I may on your feet again. Insolent! I'm out here. You Kyle! Live through this, and
maybe it's all the goddamn time. I swear to God, it used to not be a daily occurrence for me. But lately, I get one and done multiple times per day. I've had sessions where I get one and done like 4 or 5 times in a row. So when I say one and done, it's like you play a match against someone in rank, you either beat them or they beat you.
Live through
and
this,
and
I insolent!
but I get, you know, a bit of a streamer treatment there, in that people know we're going up against me, so most people like
live through
Strategic
this,
retreat.
don't want to
and I'm futile.
no one is and at the end of the day,
I'm out here.
On your feet again?
And the character's much healthier, and I'll for game where I go, what the hell? If there are characters you don't want to rematch, there's no guns to your head, and don't listen to nerds telling you have to rematch everyone. At the end of the day, you
live
should
through
have fun
this,
with your game.
and
Or like my right here is
on your feet again?
Having fun yet?
Insolent!
It's so funny. I call these plays. I'm like, he's not gonna rematch. Like when I beat them convincingly, I know he's not gonna rematch, and they don't rematch. But the one that really makes me laugh is when that type of player beats me, but it was by a hair, a small margin. They like destroy me for 2 rounds, and then they notice when I'm starting to adapt, he's starting to get punished more. I'm dealing with the strings. I'm stepping properly, and then he still beats me by a hair. But then he declines the rematch because I know he's thinking like, I barely won, but like the next match I'm gonna get creamed. exasperate itself. Where if you feel miserable now, when you hit that plateau, it's gonna suck ass for you. Ever.
Oh, you want me to do a pull on your Lucy banner?
All right, you're at pity.